Hello Year 6. Tonight's homework is thinking about how we can add more detail to a sentence. And that's something we're going to be using a lot of this week as we try to write in the style of Eye of the Wolf author Daniel Pennack. So the sheet in front of you is asking you the question, how do we add more detail to a sentence? And you can see on the screen in front of you on this video, there are 4 ways in which we can do it. One, we can add adjectives, and hopefully you're aware that an adjective gives more detail to a noun. So instead of just saying a ball, the ball being the noun, you could say the red shiny ball, so that we know that the ball is red and shiny. They're both adjectives. We can also add adverbs, which describe how a verb is being done. Verbs are a doing word like hopping, and an adverb, often ending in ly, could say something like the girl was hopping furiously. But there are 2 other ways in which we can add detail to a sentence, and they're perhaps slightly more sophisticated ways, and certainly ways which Daniel Pennack uses in his novels. The first is the expanded noun phrase. Now I'm just going to flip over the whiteboard so that we can have a think about what an expanded noun phrase is. So imagine I have a noun, something like the lady. Okay, so the lady. Lady being the noun. What I want to do is I want to add more detail both before and after the noun to bring that noun to life a little bit more, to add more detail to that noun. So you can see I've got the lady being the noun, and then what I can do is I can add in a few more words before and after there we go, excuse my writing, before and after the noun to add more detail. So the old lady who lived alone. Okay, now remember my full stop on the end of the sentence, or comma, because that would be going into another part of a sentence. So we've gone from just having a simple noun to putting information before and after the noun, to which is an expanded noun phrase, to give more detail. And if authors use this technique, and writers use this technique, then it just brings things alive to us much more, makes it much more interesting. Let's have another look at another expanded noun phrase. I'll just rub that one out quickly. Okay, and this time let's have a think about something like the house. So I'm just going to move the TV away. There we go. So I have got there the house. Okay, hopefully you recognise that the house is the noun. So what I want to do is I want to add a word or some words both before and after the noun to expand it. That's why it's called an expanded noun phrase, to give it more detail. So have a think now before I do it. What word or words could you add both before and after the noun house to add more detail? Okay, well hopefully you have thought about some. I've thought about some, so I might say, I'm just going to move the TV out of the way so I can write properly. I might say something like the spooky house near the river. Okay, so I might say, let's get the video right, the spooky house near the river. And can you see, I could just use an adjective, the spooky house, spooky being my adjective, but by putting information both before and after the noun, I've expanded that phrase and made it even more interesting. Okay, so that's an expanded noun phrase. The last way that we can extend our sentences is through using adverbials. Again, an adverbial is much like an adverb in that it gives more detail to the verb, but it doesn't have to just be one word. And it doesn't just say how the verb's being done. An adverbial can say how, when, or where the verb is being done or taking place. So let's just write that under there. How, when, or where. We can put adverbials at the starts of sentences, fronted adverbials. We can put adverbials in the middle of sentences or at the end. But what they do is they bring out and they add detail to how, when or where the verb is taking place. So I'm just going to flip the board and give you just a couple of examples of that. There we go. So if I give you something, a nice simple sentence like, I swam in the sea. Okay, here we go, just straighten up the video. I swam in the sea. Hopefully you can see that swam is our verb. So I swam in the sea. So what I need to do, I could say I swam energetically in the sea, and that would be my adverb. But what I want to do is add a little bit more detail to my sentence. So I could use a fronted adverbial and put some extra information at the start of the sentence. Something like, the other day, I swam in the sea. So that's a fronted adverbial because it's at the start of the sentence. Or is there another place I could put an adverbial? So I swam in the sea with my heart in my mouth. Or I swam in the sea feeling as cold as ice. Or something like that. So I'm adding more detail to the verb. I'm not just saying how I swam, I'm maybe saying where or when I swam as well. So the other day, or I swam in the sea in Norway, or off the coast of Norway. Okay, so you're adding more detail to your sentence that way as well. Let's write out another simple sentence. So I jogged off the pitch. Okay, so you could say, I jogged off the pitch. If you were asked to add more detail to the verb here, the verb being jogged, to create an adverbial, what would you do? What could you think of to add in? Would you put something at the start of the sentence saying how, when or where the jogging took place? Would you fit it at the end of the sentence? Would you fit it in the middle of the sentence? Have a think about that one. I'm going to ask you that when you come back into class tomorrow. I'm going to say, what adverbial did you add into I jogged off the pitch? Okay, so this was just a short little video reminding you that we can use adjectives and adverbs to add more detail to our sentences, but also that we can use expanded noun phrases, information before and after the noun, to extend and add detail to our sentences, and we can also use adverbials. Have a look at the sheet again, go through now and underline where Daniel Pennock uses expanded noun phrases or adverbials. Thank you.